What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Today is the Stanley Cup final game where Panthers can win Stanley Cup for the very first time in their 30-year history. Previously, guys, were lucky whenever I was wearing this jersey, so let's do it once again. Let's go, Panthers. And now let's get straight to the point and talk about some ridiculous Russian propaganda. I've been reading your comments, guys. You wanted in the beginning, so here goes nothing. So, some lawmakers, authorities of Russia, they said another statement. Basically what they claim is that yes, we acknowledge that because of this war in Ukraine, we have a very big shortage of working people. So let's create labor camps. Let's create gulags where we're gonna force those people to work. Yes, these are the people who are supposed to represent the interests of people. And they do completely the opposite. The most extraordinary fact is that Russian Z patriots, they completely ignore this. They're gonna take whatever the Russian government throws at them at this point. Looks like absolutely no resistance. Well, that's the difference between Z patriots and regular Russians. And then also another question I have for you guys. Do you think these lawmakers and their kids, will they go to these labor camps / gulags, or is it just for this some filthy peasants who they don't even know about their own existence? Well, once again, the separation between Russian authorities and the people is huge. But okay, as always it is time to get serious. Let's talk about Putin getting extremely desperate. Right now he's on his very last hope, and he even in the worst case scenario plans to even attack Europe. And NATO is now discussing actively whether they should test some nuclear weapons. There are some bunkers in Europe, and then the situation along the Ukrainian front lines. To begin with, yes, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, he recently visited North Korea. This is his first visit since 2000s, whenever he met with the father of Kim Jong-un, and now he's meeting with the son himself. The whole North Korea was prepared for the arrival of Putin, they installed flags everywhere, this kind of stuff. And still you can see how those two leaders, even though they show strong ties to the rest of the world, they still don't trust each other that much. What a great alliance, right? The very last time somebody from the Russian authorities visited North Korea, it was the ex-minister of defense Sergei Shoigu, and as a result of this business trip, Russia received some very big help from North Korea. Apparently it was not enough that even Putin himself had to visit the country. So potentially he does see that the situation is getting near dead end. Maybe there is no clear solution from whatever he created for himself. That is why, taking all the seriousness into consideration, he went to North Korea to personally beg Kim Jong-un for the next support. Because if you remember, approximately a week ago or so, the Russian authorities, they did claim that if Europe and the West will supply F-16s to Ukraine, and whenever these fighter jets will be stationed on any European country, in the airfields, in hangars, underground, on top of the ground, wherever, this, for Russia, will be considered a legitimate military target. That is why they claimed that Russia will have all the authorities and all the rights to attack these military targets. Basically, Putin did not have the guts to acknowledge this himself, but he is saying that, guys, we are serious, we are getting ready, we will attack Europe if needed. Most likely, in my personal opinion, this is yet another phantom escalation, red lines drawn from Putin. It's not like the first time he threatens the West, but yeah, he is unpredictable, so let's see. In my personal opinion, I do not think any attacks against Europe will happen. But what is more realistic is so-called Putin's last hope. Specifically, this was also mentioned by one of the most recent reports by the Institute for the Study of War, where they claimed that in reality, no matter how destructive the Putin's speech can be, the only hope he has left is that the West will get tired of supporting Ukraine, that the citizens of those countries, for example America, will start protesting about sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, and then the government will have to either shut down or minimize its financial support to Ukraine. which basically means that yes, this is the only last remaining hope of Putin, because yes, Ukraine is helping a lot with the support of the Western military equipment, Western military weapons. As soon as this support slows down, Putin hopes that this is when Russia will be able to push until so-called victorious end in this special military operation. Because let's be honest, on the other hand, the allies of Putin, such as for example, we just spoke about them, North Korea and just for example Belarus and China as well, it is not like that citizens of those countries, they can protest about why are we sending billions of dollars to Russia. It is simply out of the question. So pretty much, yeah, once again, the idea of Putin is that the support of the West will slow down, the support to Russia and Russia itself, I mean it is way bigger country than Ukraine, will remain the same or even increase, and this is when there will be an opportunity for Putin to finish whatever he started. And ultimately, according to some Western military experts, Putin actually might cross his drawn red lines and he might use the nuclear weapons if Russia will be losing significantly in this war. Potentially what it means is that major cities will be taken like Lugansk and Donetsk if Ukraine will cross the border and start fighting on the territory of Russia. But once again, guys, I'm literally lost the count of how many times Putin threatened with the nukes. If you remember, the very first one and potentially the most promising threat of Putin is that don't you even dare to enter Crimean Peninsula. If there's any single bullet, if there's any single shell drops on this territory of this peninsula, that's it. This is the end. We will give you an Armageddon. There will be nuclear strike. Well, now as you can see, Crimea is under attack at this point almost daily. But nevertheless, the Western alliances, such as for example, first and foremost, NATO, cannot take those threats lightly. That is why, according to its Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, NATO is discussing whether they should return their own nuclear arsenal on this so-called standby. Which basically means in case there is an escalation, it will not come as a surprise to them and they will be able to engage and use this deterring weapons, so-called deterring weapons, like literally within minutes. It does not mean that NATO will attack Russia with the nuclear weapons. Obviously, NATO will not be the first ones to do this, but just in case as a preventative measure, well, this is geopolitics for you. Threatening with the nukes almost never means that you actually gonna use them. And ultimately, according to the Ministry of Defense of Poland, they did start to, just in case, dig some trenches and put bunkers on the border with Belarus and Russia. The idea here is pretty much exactly the same. Yes, probably nobody believes Putin's threats anymore, but still, just in case, you cannot take them lightly because, yes, no one believed he will ever invade Ukraine, and yet it did happen. Right, and now guys, let me give you a very brief update from Ukrainian front lines because there are some very significant things we can talk about right now. And this will also include a lot of uncensored footage, photos and videos. For this reason I just have to make this chapter as an extra for my Patreon. So guys, if you want to continue watching, please go ahead and check my Patreon, the link is down below. Literally the best way to support my work right now when YouTube income dropped significantly. For this guys, thank you so much. And well, there you have it guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this style of daily news updates. Please check my other links down below, PayPal donations, Patreon, Instagram, and of course brand new merch that we have right now with the huge discounts. Once again, everything is down below. Thanks so much for watching, see you tomorrow.
All night long, Russian dude, he'll drink and dance and never brew with a smile.